Yesterday we discussed what is web UI. Yesterday we started demo sessions. So what is web UI and what all topics comes under that? Just I gave explanation of the topics. Here HTML 4 and 5. Here HTML 4 and 5. Then CSS 2 and 3. Second topic is CSS 2 and 3. Third topic is JavaScript. Here JavaScript. Then fourth one is jQuery. Here jQuery. Then fifth one will be Ajax. Then sixth one will be responsive design. Then seventh one will be Bootstrap. Here Bootstrap. Eighth one will be responsive design. Less head size. And ninth one will be the project. Usually I'll cover these all topics in our web UI. UI is nothing but it's a user interactive page. This user interactive page we can develop it with our execution. Here if we are developing any application with this web UI, if we are enter any URL in the browser, www.google.com. If I enter google.com, I can see that Google homepage. So I can see that here Google homepage. Under this, it will ask you for search bar, and when you click on search option, it will connect to. This is one front end page. This front end page will connect with the server page. This front end page always connect with a server page. That server page here, this front end page is interacting with a server page. That server page is interacting with here is our server page. This server page always interact with database. This type of interaction will be there. To and fro interaction will be there for every server to database to server to printed. This type of development we can do it with our execution. Here we can able to develop that type of output for our developing application. Okay. Next, we can create it here. Now how we can uh, interact with that? See, here I'll show you some attractive user interfaces where we can develop um, very attractive user interface and where we can develop easy in here Roser.com. See here, this is one Roser.com. Roser Lab, roserlab.com. Under this roserlab.com, you can see that here how it is showing that output. See, it is one attractive user interface. Here it is showing some loading symbol in the beginning. See. So we have to create any web page that should be very attractive. See here it is showing some loading symbol and that too increasing decreasing one. We can develop it this one with our front end programming, whatever I mentioned with that topics, we can develop like this. Here we are writing here one bubble. So bubble I can move left to right like this. See here. This type of movement I can create it with our application. Okay. So this type of movement we can create it. Here when I click go down here. See I'm continuously going down. Bubble size is also continuously increasing, but if I go down, it will bounce on one platform. See here, it is not, it is bouncing on yellow platform. If I forcefully go down, bubble will get lost. So this type of effect we can create it with our programming jQuery. When you double click on it, it will blast. One type of blasting. And when you forcefully go left or right, see smoothly if you move it, it won't turn. Here, see here, lost it. One more bubble will come. This type of effect we can create it with our programming, front end programming. Okay, 1 second. So this type of bubbling effect we can create it with our front end programming. Okay, not only like this. Here, if you see, uh, every loading time, see here, one loading time it is showing this website is in green color. Another loading time, again, see images also changing and color also changing. See here, every loading time it will change. So one time green, light green and pink color. See, and items also changing here. See here, this type of effect we can create it. This type of effect we can create it with our application. So this way only we'll execute our program and we'll print our output. Okay, just to refresh it. See, every loading time it will change. 5 to 6 pictures will be there. Every loading time it will repeat. That way we can create it this execution of the program. Next, here we can develop our output like this. Here, these all we can create it with our front-end programming. Front-end is nothing but one user interface. This is what here UI. UI is nothing but here view part. We call it as user interface. User interactive page where you access page, that will be the user interactive page. So we can create a user interactive page for the application, this front-end programming. So here you can see that how we can develop that front-end programming. 24th Feb 2022. Yeah. So front-end programming, how we can develop our output, we can understand here. So I'll show you one example for each topic. What is HTML? What is CSS? I will use Visual Studio Code for writing this program. Here, I'll show you one example on each topic. Here, let me show. Open recent 7 a.m. No, 7 a.m. not in jQuery. How to load project into this VS Code, I'll explain to you later. But as of now, just I'm showing you two examples on each topic. Here HTML4. We can write paragraphs. See, doc type HTML head and body. Inside the body, you can write H1 tag for heading, paragraph tag, paragraph content. Like this H1, H1 to H6 and paragraphs we can write it. If you run this program, just right click here, run in live server. So how to run it, I'll explain later. How this live server works and how we are executing. But just to see that output. Here heading, paragraph, horizontal line, and one big size horizontal line and different sizes of headings. These all we can show you with the HTML. So with that HTML, we can show that how we can work out with all headings. All headings, how we can write it, you can understand. Next, here I'll show you how to work with all headings I showed. Here I'll show you input type text, button, radio button, like that we can write it here, all input boxes. See here, username, password, gender, country, courses, date of birth, like this. Here calendars, how we can write, how we can create these input boxes, you will understand under HTML topic. Under HTML topic, how you can create it, you will understand. Alignment is by CSS, and after submitting your application form, it reach to server page. That way, we'll create our execution. Here list items, meta tag, marquee tag. I'll show you one more example with marquee tag. See here, some content very fast movement, slow movement, and down movement, up movement. These all, yeah, these all we can create it with our application. Okay, so these all we can create it with our application. Yeah. So this way we can create our execution. Here we are writing here front end The front end is interacting with server to database. Under that, first topic is HTML to create that front end. I can create input boxes, text boxes, buttons, radio buttons with HTML. I can create marquee content, scrolling content, right to left, left to right. That scrolling content I can create it with marquee tag. I can create paragraphs, headings, all we can create it with HTML. Next, anchor tag. Anchor tag is mainly used for hyperlink. When you right click here, just if you run it with live server, you can see that all anchor tags. Anchor tags are mainly used for hyperlink. Okay, one second. Yes, anchor tag we are using here for creating that hyperlink. Hyperlink means when you click on it, how we have to redirect that we write it with anchor tag. See, when I click on it, Facebook, that facebook.com is loading in the same page. This is one hyperlink, it will connect with URL. So by that it will open our that particular link in the same web page. Here Google I want to open in another tab. See here, when I click on it, that Google link is opening in the new tab of the browser. Here Twitter. Twitter it is opening in the same tab of the browser, self tab. Here underscore top underscore parent underscore self and name of the frame. I'll explain about that all attributes of that anchor tag later. But as of now, anchor tag program will open that particular links in the different tab of the browser or same tab of the browser. That way we can create it with HTML. So next, here under this HTML, we saw some programs. Here table tag. See, when you right click here, run in live server. See all different tables. Cell to cell gap, cell spacing, cell padding. Here table tag, the table span tag, here row span, call span, displaying the table and cell padding and cell spacing and table tag. This way we can display that table tag and we'll show that output. Okay, why is not coming? Hello, can you hear my voice? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Rachana, you can rejoin. Here we can run our program and we'll execute our program with this. Here table tag, here t head and t body. With that I can able to write my program and execute my program. Table, cell spacing, cell padding. This is what here table tag. With this table tag we can write here table border, table heading, table cell spacing, cell padding. Like that we can write it. How we can write and what all the code we use it, I'll discuss later. Just I'm showing you what all comes under HTML4. When you move to HTML5, you will see here how to write canvas tag, input elements, input type, extra input tags we have. Date, date time, local, color, range, output box. Like that we have some input boxes. Here range, you can change your range. Here if you change your range and if you see here we are getting, because of that output tag we are adding that range value with the number and we are getting that output. See here, if I change this value, that result is also changing. Okay, here file, when I click on it I can select any one file and I can submit it. Once I click on submit button I can submit it. Here search bar. If I enter anything here, I can search anything in the search bar. See, it will give you the closing option like this. Search bar. Okay. Here we are writing here date and time. Date and time calendar here. You can write manual date for this. Here manual date you can enter like this. Here 2025 to like this you can write. And here also you can write that execution number, any number you can select it and you can use it for execution of the program. This way we write it here, input type, date, the date options we write like this. Next we'll write it here. How we can write that date option? We understood input type date. Canvas tag. Canvas tag is purely depending on the JavaScript. We can write 2D, 3D graphics effect with this. If you run HTML5 program, under that canvas tag is one of the example under HTML5. See, you can draw a slant line, you can draw a circle, you can draw a word art, and you can write a linear gradient color and radial gradient color. These all radial gradient color. In center one color and all sides a different color. This way, how you want to mix that color, that numbers we write it based on that it will display. So this way we can write it here canvas tag. This is one example. SVG tag. SVG tag is mainly creating logo. Logo of a company we can create it with this SVG tag. See here. Go to meeting logo. We can create it. We can create it with this SVG tag. Because of SVG tag, we are able to write our program and run our program. Okay. And audio, video, YouTube videos, those all how to run it will understand under HTML5. Under HTML5, you'll understand how to work with that. Next, what is the use with the CSS? CSS will give you background colors, borders, alignment of content, float left and right, and display flags. Those all we'll see with this CSS. See here in this program, you can understand this background color and background images. All headings are showing with the different background colors, and all total paragraph, total web page is showing left, right, top, bottom, center, all sides we are showing here all images. That is also possible by background. Here background clip. Background clip, if you run it with live server, see. Here background clip and origin. So we are showing how that color start, including border, excluding padding. So how we are displaying. And if you write image, where border image should start, including border, excluding border, and excluding padding. So like that you will see border clip and border origin, background clip and background origin effect. Here, no voice coming. Rachana, she left. Yeah. Here we can write it here background with a linear gradient color and radial gradient color with this. Here background clip and origin we can write it, and similar way we can write it here under this only linear gradient colors and radial gradient colors. See here color mixture. We are writing here all different color mixtures. See these all how to write it will understand under CSS2 topic. Under CSS2 topic, how to write this background color mixture, linear gradient and radial gradient. That mixture you'll understand with this background linear gradient color and radial gradient color. That coding you will understand later, but how output we are creating that you have to observe in this session. Here float.html. This float is one of the property of CSS2. You can align the content. Here top header and headings, left image, right image, and heading of the browser, and menu bar of the browser, and left content, center content, right content, and bottom footer. So this complete web page alignment we can do it with our CSS. Complete web page alignment we can do it with the CSS. CSS is mainly used for creating the alignment of the web page. Main alignment of the web page we can create it with our CSS. Okay. So next I'll show you how to work with float property and position. Position absolute, position relative, static, sticky, like that we'll see all position properties. Here based on that position property, see here div tags are moving and the second div tag is not moving. See here it is in the same place. So this way we can show you that this way it will show that div tag and it will display that output. This is what here CSS. Similar way CSS3. Here 2D 3D images, 2D 3D dot HTML. Under that how to design our application you can see here. In this time the 2D 3D effects, 2D effect and 3D effect we can create it with this. See after some time it will change. It will change the transition effect, transform effect, like that we can create it. It will change its colors actually. Here rotate 3D. Here when you mouse over on it, it is changing its width and height for this div tag. Width and height of the div tag is changing like this. Yeah, that way we can create it with this div1. So div1 is rotating and it is Q effect and rotate effect. Next absolute h over absolute width and height, like this we can write it here. And then animate effect. How we can animate our application. CSS3 will give you animations. See here, div tag is changing its color. See, right side div tag only changing its color. Left side div tag is changing its color and it is moving in alternative position, alternative reverse direction. So after 3 iterations, it stopped that animation. So that type of effect we can create it with this animation. That animation count, we write all those. Because of that, we'll display that output. Here filter. Filter effect will show you that grayscale, skew, grayscale effect, contrast, brightness, those all we can write it with the CSS. Contrast, brightness and all we can create it with our CSS. Next we'll see here how we can write it, how we can execute our program. Here you can see here how we can understand here CSS3. Under this CSS3 how we can run our program, filter, text boxes, shadow effect, these all we can create it with a shadow effect, text shadow, box shadow, different shadow effects, x-axis, y-axis value and x-axis, y-axis and z-axis value. How to write it you can see here. See x-axis, y-axis and x and y-axis and z-axis. So like this how to write it you will see in this shadow effect. Next we'll move on to this. This is what here CSS. Here under this CSS we can run our code like this. Here JavaScript, JavaScript time. Here how to run it with CSS2 and CSS3. How we can execute, we see the output in HTML4 and HTML5 we observe. JavaScript is the major topic of our course. It will take almost 20 hours of duration. So usually I'll take total duration of this course is from 40 to 45 hours of sessions. Within that, I'll take this here 40 to 45 hours of sessions. Usually, I'll take it for HTML. Within this duration, almost 20 hours of duration, I'll sit for JavaScript. 20 hours of sessions, I'll sit for JavaScript. JavaScript is a browser-side scripting language. Here you will see that here also you can create animation effects, clicking, mouse over, submit, validations, object-oriented programming. JavaScript is a object-oriented programming. It follows similar to like Java, object-oriented rules. Some rules are not satisfied, but almost some of the rules are satisfied with this JavaScript object oriented programming. Under this how we can work with the object oriented programming and how we can implement our output you will understand under this JavaScript. Animation effect, closures, debugging, events, mouse over event, mouse out event, click event. Just I'm running that events program. Here unload is one event, unload 3 times, 4 times. Here, when you click on it, this is one click event. When you double click on it, here it is one double click event. When I start enter any key, that is key down event. Here, how many keys I'll enter, those many keys I can see, key down event. And this is one key press event. I only written that code, so that's why that is key press event. Here you can see here key press event. Here key down, key up, and key press. So based on that, and on change, if you have drop down list on change time, it will show you whatever you will select. Here UK I selected, like that I can see. Here submission of application form. Without any data, if I submit it, it is not submitting. With data, if I submit it, here just I'm writing two characters and three characters. Here now if I submit it, even though it is not submitting, if you right click here, inspect element, you can see here on submit. On submit is one event. How we can execute that on submit event? Form tag return validation. So validation function we are calling from JavaScript. Here from JavaScript we are writing here validation function. See total code what I written here you can see. Here always return false. So always return false. That's why it is not redirecting. And on unload time we are executing some code like that. Mouse over, when you mouse over on it, one event. Mouse out from here, it is one event. Mouse over on it, one event. Mouse out is one event. Mouse move is one event. Like that we can write so many events under JavaScript. Okay. Here up to now I explained just little examples on HTML4 and HTML5 and CSS2 and CSS3. Tomorrow session I'll show you how to work with Bootstrap and JavaScript remaining part and Bootstrap and jQuery and lessons as and responsive design and Ajax. I'll show you remaining examples. Tomorrow will be the last demo. Who are interested to continue UI programming, these all topics, who are interested for this course, complete your registration before coming to tomorrow's class. Tomorrow will be the last demo and Monday onwards we'll start our regular session. Okay, that way we'll continue our classes. Yeah. Up to now, any doubts? Rachana, I think you got internet issue. That's why you joined and left. Darshini, Anu, any doubts?
Um, we are learning HTML5 and CSS3 right now. So it is an alternate for JavaScript, or early that is used and now this is using, or
We,
everything or together?
we are writing JavaScript code to display those HTML5 canvas tag like that.
Oh, okay,
We,
okay, fine.
we have to learn JavaScript for writing canvas tag and some tags in HTML5.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah. Yes. Any other doubts? Okay. Come to class regularly and I'll start our session at 6:10 only. Today I waited for 5 minutes with 6:15, 6:13 like that you joined. I thought like you are not coming like that. Come to the class on time 6:05, 6:10. Maximum 6:10 I'll join my session. Okay. And I'll continue my class. I'll continue my class up to 6:50, 45, 50, like that. I'll continue my class. Okay. And who are interested to continue these classes, you will definitely learn the subject and you will definitely learn these all topics from my course. And once I start JavaScript, now that day onwards, you can parallelly start Angular or React, any one framework you can learn. By that you will join as a front-end developer. And real-time examples I'll explain every Saturday with a project session. So whatever topic I'll discuss Monday to Friday, that the topics I'll explain to you in the project. I'll use those topics in the project and I'll implement. So every day you will get real time implementation, the real time how we use it, that particular tag, each and every topic, each and every line of the code, you will understand how to use it in the real time. Okay, that way my class goes. Okay, that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow 6:05 or 6:10. Don't be late to the class. Join on time. Thank you.
Thank you.